the new set of black people that came here via transatlantic slavery. It wasn't built off of what was here prior. And, these are facts. So let's not, act like...
Them are your facts.
But we don't use monk mounds as homes anymore, or libraries.
Well, I'm looking at the numbers of Negroes in South Carolina and how they became Negroes and how long it took them folks to take South Carolina. Let me go back to this paperwork I got up here about South Carolina. Not just 1717. I think in 17, Carl Leonis developed a simple classificatory system of races, right, in 1758. But I can show you from the beginning of the 1700s, it took them damn near 100 years to get through the whole state of fucking South Carolina and goddamn reclassify everyone. But go ahead.
People have got to be... Their brains need to be studied. Please be sure to give your brain to science and donate it so that we can actually take a look at why you somehow have become a revisionist historian where you are literally trying to adapt someone else's culture that doesn't seem to be within you right now. Because at the end of the day, where's your dream catcher? Talking about where the boats. That is the stupidest,
that's Siberian
ignorant,
talk. You talking about Siberian culture.
Stupid,
that's not
ignorant conversation I have ever heard in my life.
American culture.
For a dumb person to get on anywhere and say slavery didn't exist because we can't find the boats. You gotta be crazy or mental.
That boy soft as tissue.
Yeah, that boy probably
yeah. He boy soft as hell, boy.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
He is not right.
You
need to go read a book. I'm showing you a book from the 1500s. I'm showing it to you. From the 1500s. Let me put it up so y'all can see. Y'all with this type of shit. Y'all with a whole bunch of bullshit. And I'm going to tell you why. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, now, what's up?
You got it. What about, you got the flow?
You heard of Poverty Point, Louisiana? You ever heard of Poverty Point, Louisiana?
No, I ain't never heard of that.
No, see now, you got LSU campus sitting on the Indian Mound. That predates the pyramid and the Bible, Adam and Eve now. You see what I'm saying now? Then you got what? First, you can't pinpoint the first people around. You going about what you say in your history. A lot of people don't travel this earth. You feel what I'm saying? You got what? You got Mississippi people. You got the hands in Mexico. And nobody know who built them. A lot of people passed through. A lot of people were honest. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? Now they're telling us where we come from. Now I'm from Louisiana.
As soon as I heard the sass, I knew a pseudo-intellectual was speaking. I want to respond to the older gentleman who said, if the Indians were Negroes, then why did they have to be called Negroes? Apply that same logic to your African identity, your newly ascribed African identity. If you were an African, why did they have to retroactively append that identity to you? And you were born before we became Africans formally. With that being said, I want to point out that a lot of these people, their logic is rooted in cognitive dissonance. Albert Perry negates out of Africa. He proves that there was a non-admixed dark race that was here. We do not have the admixtures. Even the Africans have some hominid admixtures. That's not us, sir. So with that being said, Eumelanin is a biological marker indicative of original human bloodlines. Those were not pale skin hybrids that built ancient civilization. They are not an ancient.
It's just history, man. It's just a lot of. It's hard to understand the lineage conversation when you discount just so many historians, so many folks like John Henry Clark, Ivan Van Sertima, Amos. I mean, so many people, bro, that just wrote history. There you go. That doesn't, and most people now y'all saying it doesn't concern y'all. It's not related to certain people. And everybody, 43 million folks that have been here are foundational. And most folks.
No, I ain't saying nothing about no foundational. You putting words in our mouth now.
No, I'm asking. I'm having a conversation because I'm just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. So
I got 8 seconds. So I get it.
All of the tribes and nations that they claimed that was already here was Negroes. They was all reclassified to Negroes. Especially when you're talking about Negroes.
A lie.
How is that a lie? I can prove it.
No, you can't. Well, prove it then. Prove it.
I done proved it.
No, prove it now. Stop.
Why don't you just call yourself
If it's a lie, then disprove it. If it's a
Girl,
lie,
why
then
don't you go check
disprove
on
it.
that wig?
That's your sassy ass up. This is my hair. Don't try to project that on me. Just because your mom is a bald bitch, don't try to project that on me. Sassy ass bitch, she failed you. I want to point out how this sass is a curse.
Hold on, love. I want to stick to the information. Hold on, no. We're not doing that. No, I don't want to do the name calling. I just want to stick to the information. We ain't got to do none of that extra shit. Y'all willing to come back up, believe the name calling out of it, and just stick to the information, please.
Can I ask a question? Hey, man, see someone's quiet right now?
Go ahead.
So one thing I would like to say, at this point, I think I'm very proud to be a Black American. You know why? Because we're from Africa.
I'm not jealous of women. Oh, you talking?
Yeah, hold on. It's kind of cool that we are the only race, period, and out of all the Black races, we have the greatest vernacular of word. We can manipulate the whole entire dictionary, and then the whole entire planet follows what we say. They follow all our dances. We dominate all the. Hold on. We dominate in the Olympics, and then so if we're from Africa, out of the 1.5 billion people, how is it if we're from them, the so-called first people? How is it that we over here evolved more than them? And to top it all off, why is it that Black Americans in particular, out of all races, period, have the most inventions made on this planet that the whole entire planet depends on? So you know what? At this point, to me, it don't matter where we're from, because we are the ultimate people. Look at the whole entire planet is going against who? Us. By now, you think the whole entire planet will be able to debunk us, but no, they haven't. So now the people that are in here trying to debunk us are just straight ass haters because they cannot handle the truth.
2 words, white people.
Hey, I know that shit sounds silly as hell, bro. We were in the Olympics. So what? That don't mean nothing. The fuck,
Can I
fuck
say
the
something,
Olympics.
please?
No,
Can I
let me say something to you, chick. Let me say something.
You're a sassy man. Don't address me. You're a sassy ass nigga.
Information.
Hey, I thought you
I
said
want to say what I was going to say from an intellectual space. They have to bastardize the discussion because they can't keep up intellectually. And a sassy man is a result of having generations of eunuchs, men who do not have intestinal fortitude to fight. Okay, that's not us. That's not the copper color indigenous people over here. So as soon as I hear that come forward, I know what that is a result of. That is literally a result of generations of eunuchs laying down, not fighting. You have no fight. You did not teach your generations to fight. But that's not what you're encountering on these spaces. This is my natural hair, by the way.
Do I sound like a eunuch?
The The sassy dude that was talking to me, he absolutely did. And the one that was talking about my hair being a wig, yeah, that's a sassy man. Stick to the intellectualism or go down. Refute me or go down. Now I said, so I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and then I'm gonna mute up. I said non-admix. I said non-admix.
Hey, Cujo,
The significance of me saying a non-admix dark race that was here is because black is a status that again was retroactively appended to the original copper-colored people here. So if that was always our identity, then we should have always been a black. We should have always been an African. So when I'm saying non-admix, melanin is a biological marker indicative of original human bloodlines, and we are the original inhabitants of every continent. Albert Perry negates out of Africa. He showcases that there was a non-admixed dark race here that is more ancient than the populations in Africa. So and then the thing is, by the time we're talking about Albert Perry and ancient populations, you no longer are dealing with African. You're dealing with Ethiopia, if you want to refer to that west coast of the continent. With that being said, there were people who got here, arrived here, and said that there was a population here that looked like the Ethiopian West Coast, Central Africa, but was not. So the fact that even your talking points restrict you to a particular chronological time frame, you can't keep up with the discussion, and it's cognitive dissonance. So now you got to talk about my hair instead of focusing on the topic.
That's one person, but
Hey, is this chick gonna be finished though, Shawty? I mean, come on, man. Don't nobody want to hear all that. Ain't nobody talking about your damn hair shit. Get your mind right. Let's talk about Albert Perry. Let's talk about Albert Perry. Let's talk about Albert Perry. Now let's talk about Albert Perry.
Your bitch is not on my level. That's why you have to denigrate me.
Control yourself. I ain't say nothing about you. I ain't say nothing about you at all. I didn't mention your hair. I don't care about your hair. You still my sister. You wrong, but you're my sister. I ain't saying nothing about your hair.
I'm not wrong.
Yeah,
but I thought you mentioned
because what you said about Albert Perry is completely ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. The AOO was found here. If what you say is true, get your brother, your uncles, all the men in your family to go and take a DNA test and show that their haplogroup is AOO. If what you say is true. No, you didn't get AOO from no genealogy. You didn't get genealogy. Ain't nobody goddamn do no genealogy.
If Albert Perry was over here, then it showcases that there was a population that was over here.
Do that though. So
you can't prove that you're African today.
Sister, yes, I can prove
do your DNA and find your African ancestors.
I ain't not done my genealogy, but you can't be quiet while I'm talking. You can't be quiet while I'm talking for whatever reason. Because like I said, if what you say is true, if what all y'all say is true, go do a DNA test. I guarantee you ain't none of y'all AOO, because that shit is rare. It's rare. My paternal haplogroup is BM181, which is also rare. It's rare in Africa and it's ultra rare in the United States because it's an older haplogroup. That's nothing to brag about. That's just people who survived that survived through me. That's all it is. Y'all talk about this silly ass, they follow our dances. Nigga, America is the biggest stage on the planet. That's why everybody follows us, not because we so goddamn cool. You silly. Y'all sound like children. Talk about we do better dances. That shit silly as hell. You ain't no damn Indian.
So he's bastard. Can I say something, please? Crew Cut, can you please let me respond to him real quick? So he's bastardizing my argument. My argument is that if Albert Perry exists, can you mute up for a second? Just mute up for a second. I'm gonna explain why. Because I do that on purpose. I present objectively true statements so that people will show their cognitive dissonance in trying to refute me on what they think I was saying. If Albert Perry exists as a non-admixed, melanated human, then that disproves the native hybrids. So I didn't say I had. Let me mute up. I didn't say. You thought I was making an argument that I was not making. I'm saying his existence refutes the entire population. It refutes the entire population of native hybrids because not a single damn one of them have that DNA. So before you would get to me, a non-admixed copper colored, you would have to address the fact that there's an entire pale skin hybrid group that that tried to say they were here. So I was providing you the argument that refutes them. So
Well,
you thought
you did
I was
a
making
poor
the point I was not
job. You did a
making.
poor job.
So
You did a
now
poor
what will
job.
happen?
You did a
So now
poor
what
job.
happens is we, the non-admixed group, needs to be added to the study population. Because if I take a DNA test, it should not compare me to natives who I just refuted their argument that they were here. We should be used as
You
the
didn't.
and so until we're added into the
How does
sample,
your reputation
see,
stand?
so now he got to cut me off. Now he just said I couldn't stop talking when he was talking, but now he got to talk when I'm talking. Okay, Sass, you thought I was making an argument that I was not making.
Sass.
Albert Perry, very objectively, Albert Perry's existence disproves any pale-skinned natives, hybrid groups, because they're hybrid.
How?
They literally have Denisovan admixtures.
How?
Albert Perry did not. So if Albert Perry was here with his bloodlines that had no Denisovans admixture, and then some Denisovans came over here, then none of them could have been here before him. With that being said, and we don't have Denisovans admixture, but what I'm saying is that we need to be sent. We needed to be. So now nobody should be taking DNA to have their DNA tested against these admixture groups. That's remedial. I just explained why. So now we need to be added to the sample population so that the proper groups of people can be studied, so that they can understand that even the migrations from South Africa to America would connect to the woodland populations here today. Because right now they can't prove that using these admixed hybrids. Move them out of the way with the Albert Perry argument and then have the real conversation. The hell? She talking about my lineage. I'm talking about
Science is
their
wrong.
lineage is not original.
Now we can't depend on the DNA, but we can talk to you, the person who probably didn't go
I
to
said
school.
simple logic apply.
The person who probably can't
If
read.
these hybrid groups have
calling
Denisovans
them
admixture and
hybrid. They're
Albert
not
Perry
hybrid.
doesn't, then none of them could be original to here.
Does
Duh.
anybody believe what
Ow.
she's
So
saying?
why would we
Does
test
any of
our
that stuff
DNA
make sense?
against theirs?
None of it. It don't make
Does
sense.
any of that shit make
It doesn't make
sense?
sense.
Yes, it
Okay.
does.
I just want to
Yes, it
understand.
does. What I say
You
make
can
sense
use
or not?
DNA,
Yes,
but
it
you
does.
can't
Yes, it
use
does.
it to prove your
What I
lineage.
said is a simple logic
Baby
apply.
girl,
Albert
clearly
Perry
you have
negates
a mental
all of the
disability.
natives claiming to be
How
over
does he
here.
negate the
So
native?
now who was over here?
He
If a
wasn't in
Denisovans
every girl.
Nothing
hybrid,
that you saying
if a
is-
Denisovans hybrid group arrived over here, and we have people who are non-admixed that were already here, then wouldn't they predate
Baby girl, you are
them?
no scientist.
So that disqualifies their entire group claiming to be original over here. So now, when you're asking, because what you're asking, I'm getting around you saying, do the DNA test right now, you would be testing our decision because they're not an original population implicitly.
Girl,
So
that don't make
y'all are
sense.
stupid.
I got
Sound like somebody who was in that sled growing up.
Somebody told you.
Nigga, I was in gifted intelligence.
No, you cannot possibly.
I
You
took
cannot
AP Calc and
possibly.
AP Physics in high
Yeah,
school.
in Louisiana.
I
Let
took
me
AP
ask y'all-
Calc and
let
AP
me ask
Physics
y'all a
in high
question.
school. What are we talking about? I
Where
have
did you
to
get this
AP
information?
classes
Where did
my
you get
entire
this
life.
information?
I
Where did you get this
have-
information?
Nah, you've never
You
done
were on the
something.
short
okay.
list. I
Girl,
heard it when you
please.
started talking.
Let me ask y'all.
Clearly.
No sense.
You
This is your
clearly
time to
had
shine,
some
you
mental
remedial bitch.
disability.
You've never been
That don't
important.
make
You've
no
never been
sense.
special.
Question.
That's
That
why
don't
you
make
think you're a
nothing-
girl
don't
right
make
now.
no
You're a
sense.
unit.
And because somebody
Let me
told
ask
you
y'all,
bloodline of
let me ask
units.
you something at the
You
bottom.
can't go back
It's
and
also
forth with me.
special education.
You're from a bloodline of units, and you were the
Yeah,
one in
let me-
special ed. That's why you
and
projected
I would
that
gladly
onto
do
the
that
discussion.
because
Ignorant
I
black
could
You
people,
were the one
can
in
we
special
calm down?
ed. That's why you projected
Ignorant
it onto
black
the
people, can we
discussion.
calm down?
I had
Can we calm
AP
down for a
Calc,
second? Young lady,
Physics,
can you
4 years
breathe?
Hold on,
Spanish.
Hazon.
Breathe,
What are
hold
we
on,
talking
Hazon.
about?
Hold on,
Can you
Hazon.
breathe?
Come on now.
Hold
I don't
on,
have to
Hazon.
qualify myself because my level.
Yeah, that's why you give us all
AP
these
Calc,
classes you
AP
took.
Physics. You were in the slow
But
classes,
at the end of the
sir.
day,
That's
today-
why you
let
projected
me
that
ask
into the conversation.
All right,
Let me ask
listen,
you two
can we say
gentlemen a
something?
question.
First off,
Yes.
you cannot take the white man's knowledge and apply it to black history.
Hold on.
Had an
Hold on.
A
What I
minus,
wanna know-
AP
You're
what I
making
wanna
white
know-
people
What
talking
are we
points.
What I want to know is
Right?
why
It's
only
exactly
Sassy
that.
Man
It's
screaming
not
at
true.
them, screaming
And
at
today
them.
you're stupid.
I'm trying to find out why only Sassy Man screaming at her. That's what I'm trying to
yelling
figure
at a woman like, hey, cut
Right.
all that out. I don't know what y'all think this is. This ain't Africa.
Go ahead. Jeez. Love, you done?
He was probably in college taking math classes because this remedial bitch. What I'm saying is a simple logic applied. If there was not admixed dark race here, then Denisovan hybrids cannot claim that they were over here. In which case, until they add us to the sample population that they're using to do the DNA test for the indigenous groups here, then they need to stop saying that. That's fucking remedial.
Our men fucked up.
No, they did.
Yeah, they did. Because the women was chilling, listening. The men was handling it. And then Love came up, and then they started disrespecting Love. And now I got all the ladies came up and said, hold on now, you ain't gonna be...
These are eunuchs. They want to erode divine feminine. They're eunuchs. This is from this is generational curse. I'm saying this out the...
So the argument is us versus the world. This is the topic. And this is showing you it's us versus the world. Because a lot of us is then took side of the world.
Yeah, so I don't know why all these so-called men up here yelling, fighting, and scratching with a woman and not allowing her to talk, reducing themselves to insult because she's breaking them down left and right, up and down, when she's right. And they try to insult and say she's not right about what she's right. The genetic mutation for just the lighter skin in general is SLC 24A5. Another one is SLC 45A2, right? It's only been around 3,000 to 8,000 years, right? The dominant gene, is the melanin. Anything outside of the melanated people are a mutation. Down to the eyes, there's a mutation genetic code for that. Down to the horse here, there's a genetic mutation for that, which is all brand new, 3,000 to 8,000 years old. You cannot tell me a people that have a mutation is the original people. We gotta stop playing. You talking over her, being disrespectful and violating here. We're not doing that.
Oh yeah, I never muted Love. I didn't do that. I was muting everybody else and trying to let her get out what she was saying, and they wasn't allowing her, so we was muting everybody else without trying not to drop folks so we can have this conversation. Because it seems like a lot of people are very hurt-bent over the fact that we was here in America proud too, and that ain't even a discussion, but it always gets to this discussion, so we're having it. So let's just have it.
Yeah, I'm hearing the conversation, and I like what I'm hearing, but like I'm just really, really trying to figure out like what is the benefit of being, I guess, the original person to this land, the indigenous person to this land, if none of your stuff is being used but the land, and you were conquered. It's like, what is the purpose?
Is that just a slap in the face of our losses, of our show, everything? Because we didn't have a lot and we lost a lot.
Exactly. So you lost a lot. They don't use none of your stuff now. They built an entire.
Don't you eat? Don't you wear cotton?
They built an entire civilization on top of your society. So what is?
Where you think all the food come from? Don't they eat? Don't we see? A lot of people got wealth fucked up. You can't have wealth without food.
Yeah, but they were eating before.
What they was eating. So in Africa, in different parts of Africa, they only had like 8 major crops in Africa, right? And like, depending on where you was at, you was lucky to get 3, right? Until motherfuckers started getting them groceries from here, right? All them systems and shit that was going on here, them farmers and shit, they didn't come from Africa. Those are original people from America. We already understood red Georgia clay, Mississippi dirt, and other things.
Oh shit. My bad. So I was agreeing with old girl, Lovey. Everything she pretty much said was right. I can't speak too much on the haplogroups and all of that. I don't know too much about all that. But as far as like being indigenous to America, yeah, we indigenous to America. And old boy that was going on real hard for, I think it was like DL or something like that. I don't know. I ain't pay attention to his name. But I wanted to ask him about the if he think the Indians or the people that claim themselves as Indians today, like, how did they get here then? Like, if we populated the entire planet, what we did, just left America unpopulated? If so, who put those Indians or Native Americans in America today?
Somebody said they taught us. Okay. Yeah, we taught them a lot. Shit. These folks had to learn. Them groceries, we basically saved the world. Because of our groceries is the reason why Africa is the population the way it is today. I'm talking about they don't use the things that we had. They still using them now.
Exactly. Grand Rising, what's up, y'all? But yeah, so I'm gonna preface this with of course they're gonna say, you know what I'm saying, that people migrated here, right? But let me read it. So it says, Negro Indian ancestors. Negroes who crossed the Bering Strait in prehistoric times are among the ancestors of the American Indians, according to conclusions reached by Dr. Ronald B. Nixon of Peabody Museum, Harvard University, who read a paper recently which caused a great stir in the anthropology section of the America Association for Advancement of Science. Negroid people would appear to have been the first discoverers of America. What else is there to say? I could keep reading it. But I'm about to run out of time. But yeah, so they was.
They don't want our food.
Harvard was saying that in 19.
It's too late. They already got the groceries. With your fufu, don't your fufu come from the Americas? Oh, it sure does. Oh yeah, because it thrives in fucked up soil and shit like that. That's the reason why y'all eat so much of it. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all that shit come from over here.
Good morning, everybody. That must have been the most idiotic question I have ever heard. They don't use nothing from America? What you puffing on if it ain't the Mary Jane? Tobacco from America, cotton from America. Then you say they're not using our food, cassava, you got pineapples, avocado, blackberries, blueberries, raspberries. I can go on and on and on about the food. Peanuts, walnuts, black walnuts. I can go on and on and on. We had so much gold here, they damn near depleted our land of it. More than Africa at one point in time. The only reason why Africa had more gold than we do now is because they use 4 times of our minerals than they do of Africa's. That's a fact. What's the benefit of being first? What's the benefit of being African? This ain't like that don't make sense. But like what is going on here? But y'all get y'all Black American Indian coloring book for y'all children, nieces, and nephews. Link is in my bio, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful day. This is crazy.
She got children books. Yeah, but what benefits you to be an African? And then you take your ass over there talking about you African, and they gonna look at you and say, you American. They gonna turn it right around, right back on your ass while you trying to claim African. They gonna say, yeah, you African, how much money you got? Yeah, you African as long as you got money.
First of all, Grand Rising. Africans are the only truly indigenous people on the planet because we evolved on the same landmass where you find us. Everybody else calls themselves indigenous if they got to a place before the Europeans arrived. We are ancient. We've been there since the beginning. That's number one. Number two, false narratives about we were always here. You guys, you're really just, you look foolish in the world stage. I can't, it's impossible to overstate how ridiculous you sound. Repeating these false narratives over and over and over again is not going to change anything. It's not going to convince anybody to give you land. All you're doing is making yourself a pariah, and you're embarrassing Black Americans. I think you should reconsider this "we was always here" narrative, because it just makes Black Americans look like there's something wrong with the educational system. Shout out to you, shout out to African Americans, but y'all gotta do better. Just do better.
So the guy whose father's Igbo and his mama, he don't know where the hell she from, claims that we're making us look bad
when we getting back to family ties. Nobody looks bad when they go back home to Big Mama, my boy. And then most of us wish we had our Big Mama to go back to. So, fuck you for that one. That was disrespectful. You don't know what the fuck you be saying, do you?
What's up, y'all? To tell the think tank, we are better. We always been better, and we're gonna continue to do better. On another thing, since y'all so damn evolved, y'all got whole tribes over with ostrich feet. Y'all got so many physical discrepancies in Africa. That's not evolved at all. Y'all don't have fertile soil. Majority of y'all's crops come from America and Asia. Y'all had a population boom due to our crops. So I don't give a damn what y'all talking about. There's no benefit in us claiming to be Africa. Africa is not the motherland. If she was a mother, she's a trash ass mother. You hear me? So yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. Y'all got whole groups of people over with fucking bird feet. Ain't no evolution in that.
I ain't never heard of it. Damn, I gotta look that up.
You got the Odon tribe or something? Y'all got bird feet people over there. Shut that shit on up.
Bird feet people in Africa. Gotta look that up. Good googly goo. Good God. What is that? What the hell? Why you tell me that shit? Lord have mercy. Y'all wanna see this shit? I don't know if y'all seen this shit before. Look at that.
Hey, I'm African American. You heard me, Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just shocked because I had just left FBA podcast, one of y'all podcasts, and on this podcast they had white tea people in the podcast too, also blowing on our African brothers and sisters with FBA. I done screenshot recorded some of this because, bro, like the white tea people coming on there, yeah, y'all gonna lead our country. You got white tea people on there with FBA going at African people and African Americans that's identifying as Africans. Bro, the white tea people on there with them. Man, I got nothing else to say to FBA or none of them brothers and sisters. Cause that podcast just revealed some shit, you hear me? Man, I never, come on, teaming up with the white tea, man, that's all the way some sellout shit, you hear me? Man, black power, all power to the people, you hear me?
So here's the thing, Luton. I think what we gotta understand is that one, people are not a monolith. That's one, right? Two, what we gotta also understand is that you may have seen that one group of people did do that, but that's been going on for the last 65 years with everybody across the board doing that over here, right? We got Austin Chain of Michigan who was running for governor, and he was working with the white tea to remove Black History Month. Right? He had a bunch of people that put themselves in position to work with the systems in place and the white tea supremacy to undermine our people here for the last 65 years, literally doing things, tangible things, not just talking like those people talking. We talking about real tangible things to harm our people. So I don't want to hear that a small group of people from Alive is saying something with them.
Can you give me the tangible things you're talking about?
Hold on, Finn.
Can you give us an example of the things you're talking about?
Hold on. I can show you that you're talking to the right person, but when I'm done.
But I can show you how we ourselves got to put each other.
When I'm done. Listen, we can sing together, but we can't talk together, right? I waited till you was done. Now I'm gonna say what I'm going to say. So as I was saying earlier, we actually have people doing tangible things that's undermining our people. It's more than just.
There's no excuse for nobody to.
Hold on, let him want to talk. Foundational finish.
Right, because he just want to talk and talk and talk. He's not listening. That's the problem. So like I was saying, we got people that's actually, I'm not making no excuse. I don't never be on code. My panels, I don't have no white tea man on my panels, right? But what I'm saying is that's nothing compared to actual people going in positions of power and systems in place to undermine our people. That's nothing. They are literally working to undermine. We're literally working with the man and systems to undermine our people in real time. We're doing real damage. That's what I'm talking about. Not just talking. You talking about some online talking. We talking about real things happening to our people. And I can show you after.
I just want to respond to the tether that was up here that was talking about the only indigenous people are Africans. How, Sway? When y'all have no structures or monuments older than our mounds. You can't make this up. Y'all want us to be something that we're not so badly. Like, y'all just mad that we almost fell for the white man's okey doke, and then we started doing research and figured it out. So, yeah. His name was Tether. What are you talking about, Marmar? His name was literally Tethered for his profile. They call him, he down there saying, I'm the Tether. It's okay. You're right. I'm tethering onto my motherfucking history. You right. History that was meant for me. You right. I'm tethering onto my shit.
C3, he an African. He need to go back to Africa, go over help his people. His people need him. His people starving out there. He talking about he African. All right, take your African behind to Africa. See, it's funny. These people always talking about they African and how African they are, and they want to any, mini, miny, mo and pick a country. So do that. Go any, mini, miny, mo, pick a country and go down there and go help your people out if you African.
And why is there a video on YouTube of them showing them building the pyramids and Sphinx in Egypt? I made sure I saved that motherfucker.
Not only that, y'all sat here and brag about Africa having all these resources, but y'all didn't even have the nutrition to build y'all's brain to do anything with them damn resources. You can't eat no blood diamonds, so I don't give a damn what y'all got over there. Y'all ain't did shit with them.
That part.
You can't eat it. Damn sure can't eat it. I'm hungry. Here go a chunk of gold. Like that.
These people don't even know that during that time period, they stole $20 billion in gold from America. When I say America, I mean from north to south. About 3 billion of that was smuggled. I got the source for that. They was counting it in pesos, though. But they stole that much from the Americas. Just alone. They can't even tell us how much gold they stole from them, right? Right, because they just started going into the interior of Africa.
None of these cultures had agriculture. The world was saved because of the milk planting system. So everything the world has right now as far as agriculture came from America directly.
I got the book right here. It's a simple book that'll show you that completely.
All right, go ahead, Foundation.
Yeah, I got the book right here. It's easy. All it takes is a fraction of a brain and a Google search, and anybody can search this. That 60 to 80% of the world's crops is indigenous to America, right? And so this is one of the books you can go. I got many books that talks about 600 out of 640 crops is indigenous to America. It's real simple. So when people talking about YouTube, we talking about real books. And this is one of many that I can pull out that shows this. You can look it up. It's on archives.org. You can look it up. It's real easy. We get it for free.
Facts. And I got books that start stating the stuff that the colonizers seen when they got over here. Named a few of them earlier.
Somebody said y'all ain't indigenous to reading.
You ain't indigenous to comprehending, so.
People, honestly, at this point, I just laugh. They just saying stuff just to say stuff. And when you start bringing up books and stuff, they start saying stuff just to say stuff. They just want to respond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can't read, but y'all can't comprehend either.
Man, they all ran them all off. They all ran. They out of information. They ain't got nothing else but insults. Tribe of Zimbabwe. What them feet?
Good morning, Tex. I miss you, Tex.
And over. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of our people, I'm going to do a deeper dive probably a little bit later when it comes to the Harlem Renaissance and people that came from the South that went up north were set up in the Northwest, which was quote-unquote Europe, to be unalived. The Paris catacombs, over 7 million remains are ours.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what made the climate colder. That's why when you realize in the early 1900s, Chicago had cactus plants and shit outside the buildings.
I heard that. It was tropical. Yes.
Yeah, these people did a mass unaliving of the people in the Northwest, Cali and all that, of course, St. Louis and all that, but right there in New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, man, that shit was fucking devastating, bro. The shit.
Wow.
I'm talking about, like, bro, like.
What you just said about how the earth went cold.
It's outside. You can't even just. This type of shit just make you you can't do nothing but.
5 to 15% with the Africans, 1 to 2% with Black Americans. Let's look at G6PD deficiency. These are genetic deficiencies. Let's be clear. They say they're the original. We should see original shit. They should be less percentage than us. They are 25%. In Africa, we 10 to 14%. Okay, let's look at better. They have 5 to 15%. We are 1 to 2%. You probably can see it a little bit at the bottom. But let's keep it going. Right? The fibrosis, I can't really see because the 30 in the way, right? 1 to 10,000, right? It's 1 in every 15 to 17,000. They should be blowing the numbers away. They should be way, way more. 1 in probably 20,000, 1 in probably 40,000. But why we, the so-called mixed people, beating them in everything when it comes down to genetic defects, right? If we so-called mix, right? Let's look at the neural tube defects, right? All right, we got 1,000. All right, let's keep it going. Hold on 1 second. Let's look at the alpha. They have this is a BLOOD disorder, the hemoglobin production, right? They have 10 to 30% in parts of West Africa. We have 2 to 7%. Right? So if we are so-called mixed people and they are perfect, pure people where everything started, how come they have so many genetic disorders? How come we are, and I hate to say it like this because that's what the YT say, but unfortunately it's what it is. We are genetically superior when it comes down to the genetics. How come they utilizing Henrietta Lacks for the vaccines right now if we are so-called mixed? All vaccines came from Henrietta Lacks. How come? We are so-called mixed. Let's start breaking down these genetic disorders. This is why you see people with the bird feet. You see people with the legs behind the back. You see people with all kinds of disorders. And you wonder how the hell they got all that stuff going on, but we don't see that going on with Black Americans. We supposed to be the mixed people. What's going on? We can't say because of YT people, because YT people, when you look at their stats, it's worse. Let's look at the YT stats. They get crazy. Just for the DS, they had 67%, family, for the DS. 67%. So you can't say, well, because y'all mixed with the YT. No. They are worse. So if we was so-called mixed with the YT, them numbers would be 10 times higher, 20 times higher. Just with DS alone, they had 67%. So that's interesting that genetically, the so-called mixed people, right, that got mixed with all these 3 admixtures that everybody keeps saying, which we don't. The European, the African, and the so-called native, which people keep saying. We don't got none of the stats that none of these 3 people have. They have worse stats than all of us, which means we're not an admixed people. We are the original people, which is why this is the reason why we are the healthiest people, because we have the dominant gene. Anything outside of that is a mutation, and mutations will have more dis-ease because they are mutations outside of the dominant. See, I like to break it down with science because we can argue all day with the history and everything, and we can fight and scratch, but you can't fight science, baby. You can't fight science. Science will unalive. So I'll leave it at that. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for your time. And yeah, that's it. Don't let nobody call you an admix or mixing. You mixing or none of that BS. That's BS. You are the original. You are the original. You are the dominant. You are the most healthiest. This is why they trying to take you over to Africa. They use they call it liquid gold. They call it liquid gold, but y'all know what I'm talking about, and sell you on a trade. That's why they feeding for you to come out there. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They know who you are. They know what you got. They know what your cells that never unalive, that keep reproducing. They know. I'm a land. Thank you so much for your time, family.
And those of us who had an admixture is more likely 4 to generations ago, unless you are a freshly biracial person. Like, and they even documented when they kept mixing us with us. The brown people toward brown people's businesses, instead of us asking for loans and going out here just, working for other people, we're committing treason against our nationality, against our own all caps name. You have hey, welcome in, y'all. You have an account. The only account that really matters in the United States is the account that you have with the post office. The post office is going to be your best friend moving forward. If you got a court case and you can't make it, you can write a letter to the courts, so you don't have a warrant for your arrest, and put it in the mail through the post office. That's actually the way you're supposed to show up at court if you can write. If you can't write and you can't really read, then you're supposed to go to court and represent yourself and speak for yourself. But you don't have to do that if you can write. Y'all do know that, right? Reading and writing is the top upper echelon of society. That's why they didn't want black people to read and write. But we can read now, right? We can read and we can write. Amen, somebody. Y'all need to take advantage of the fact that we can read and write. I love to read. I read every day. I'm always reading something. I read this like a month ago, I think. I don't remember when this came out, but I read this. I read stuff so I can know what's going on, and then I know now that y'all gonna have to read too. It's not me being able to just tell y'all stuff. You're gonna have to go read this stuff for yourself. Like, this shit don't even make no sense. But basically, you can give out $14 million in a year. The individual person that we are with our regular schmegular birth certificate, if we can give out $13 million a year, that may let you know right there that we must be lowballing ourselves. Because why would they put such a high capacity on giving away gifts if it wasn't a lot of money out here for us to get? It's a lot of money out here to be able to get. But one thing we need to learn how to do is set up accounts through the grocery stores and all of the agencies that y'all are using, all the businesses that you are using. You're supposed to set up an account. That's number one. Set your account up. It is illegal for you to pay your taxes now. Well, go look at this video. I don't remember what it was about. But yeah, they talking about the fact that you paying your money and then these people are using it for bad, and you know that it's for that. And if y'all keep on paying the taxes and going to these places that y'all know are using this money to traffic people, they're going to try to, they're already doing it. They're trying to implicate us, okay, for funding this shit, fueling and funding the terrorism that's going on. So we have to be smart. It's just like using your social security number is so dumb. All of our shit has been compromised. There's no reason for you to be using that social security number. Please stop using that shit and don't give out your home address to nobody. If you're trying to get a job, don't do it for no hospital. Don't do it for nothing. Don't put your home address on stuff. People are being gang stalked. They are finding people. It is crazy. They need organs. They need certain stuff. And then it's like you'll be looking for your loved one. You ain't seen them in a couple of days, and then you go to their house and they not alive. Then these people is missing organs, all kinds of stuff. We gotta be really careful out here. Listen, I gotta be careful what I say on this app, but I need y'all to go look at that list. Go look at the information from this court case. Y'all are gonna be so sick to y'all stomach. It's so much stuff coming out about that Sting list. About that stuff. This was an attack on brown women and brown children specifically. Now they finna try to overshadow what we finna find out, bro. I'm trying not to get mad, bro.
Good morning, Tex.
Guys, it's your girl Leah.
Bro, we can prove if I'm a
You can't even prove your face.
Where is you from?
You can't even prove your face.
A grown man tell me.
You're a troll.
You want my social media? You can see my face through my social media. You want that?
I came on here hoping to learn something.
Well, Daniel, shut up and hope somewhere else.
Like what, bro?
What you came out?
Check this out, y'all. This is a trip because I was just thinking about this, and to where
the state of TikTok, right? And to be around for so long and to be able to now observe many demographics of people in different rooms and et cetera, and to see how people are so thirsty for knowledge. So
Burgundy 30.
Yeah.
We'll give you $10,000 right now if you do this, and it will change your life. They'll complain about what the fuck they got to do for that $10,000. So therefore,
the real reason why Victor Bowman called Yaki the scammer. Watch this.
I remember even tapping into bank accounts and everything off my Social Security. And I remember it was 6 accounts in my name. I called the Federal Reserve Bank. I'm like, why do I got an account with $6 million in it that I've never opened myself? How did you get access to your account? That's when they really started messing with us. That's not the question. Why do I got an account with $6 million? Why do I got a Bank of America account with $20 million in it and I never had a Bank of America account? Who the hell is using the money? Then you start tracking down your Social Security number, putting a 0 in front of it, which makes it a 10-digit bank account number. Then you look at your birth certificate number, which is your routing number. So now you're like, hold on, I got a bank with all this money, and then you start realizing what Social Security is, and then basically you working for free, and then they're paying you little bitty percentages or fractions out of the account that you already had all this money built in because you're a natural born, law-abiding citizen of the Creator and not of man. So it's different types of tiers you operate on. You can operate as an indigenous in the private, as your natural born body self, or you can operate as a corporation, which is the name your mother and father gave you right before they sold you over and got a Social Security number and then sold your soul by taking the sole of your feet, putting it under some stamps, and then putting it on top of the birth certificate and selling you over to the corporation that we call the United States of America, which is not a country, it's a business, it's a corporation and an agency.
The real reason why Victor